In Australia, we have an election in May, very soon, probably about May 25. And the Australian Labor Party, or as I like to call them, the Australian Tax and Globalist and Poverty Party, has just announced that they want 50% of Australians to be in electric cars by 2030. Now, Australia has one of the lowest take up of electric cars for a number of reasons. It's 10 times lower than the global average. Bill Shorten, the Australian Labor leader, wants 50% of the country in electric cars in 10 years. That's a joke. Not only is subsidising electric cars another backdoor way to a carbon or a cap and trade tax, as all you intelligent people know, but Australia is a vast, huge landmass. If we think we're going to cover Australia with enough charging stations in 10 years, you're in absolute fairyland. Now, there are cynical reasons for this because transferring people into electric cars has nothing to do with CO2 emissions or helping the environment at all, because I'll put the article in the description box. But Tesla's new cars, just producing the batteries before they even leave the factory, produce as much CO2 carbon emissions as 8 years of gasoline driving. I'm no joke. 8 years of gasoline driving, and they talk about electric cars being helpful to the environment. Give me a break. Give me a break. What this is, a globalist maneuver to get cars in shorter distances so they're easier to track. They can track them through the computer systems in the electric cars. They can track them through the charging stations, which will be monitored, which will show how far the person has travelled and be travelling. It's all another extension of the globalist tracking system. And also, because it takes half a day for you to charge your fucking car, it's going to keep people more confined and less people in the country and more people in the compact super cities which they want to create to keep you confined, to keep you less self-sufficient, so keep you off the land and keep you out of the rural areas. It's so obvious it's not funny. It's nothing to do with the environment at all. It's about keeping people bunched up in these dense populations where they want them so they can keep track of them, and it's harder to keep track of people in the country. And of course, people are more self-sufficient in the country. They don't want that, do they? They want you relying on the system. So on top of Labor's $472 billion cost, and I'm sure that's just an estimate, I'm sure it'll cost more to go to 50-50 renewables. We're at 23%, about 23% right now. So on top of that, we're going to have these subsidies for electric cars, which again is skewing the market and making it a toxic market and not a free market at all. People say, oh, these are renewable energies are working. There's a market for it. There's only a market for it because the Australian government spends billions of dollars on it that props it up. You can bet if they didn't do that, the renewable energy sector and the green energy sector would collapse because it's not efficient and it's not effective. There's a sinister scheme behind Labor's electric car plan. It's nothing to do with helping the environment at all. It's a backdoor way to a cap and trade tax to make more and more people on the poverty line and a shrinking middle class. And it's also a backdoor way of making sure people travel less distances and making sure people are tracked. It's all part of the Agenda 21 plan and the Agenda 30 plan. Anyway, that's all.